Well, hello and welcome to the Fluency Corner lesson for this month. I am especially excited, and I was really excited about this one while we were doing the filming for this lesson because there were so many great phrases and words and expressions that came up all about love and dating and romance and relationships that people have with each other. And in this lesson, what I'd like to do is go over some of the good, some of the bad, and some of the ugly when it comes to relationships. So we'll go over lots of phrases and words and expressions that you can use in not only your, romantic relationships, but also friendships and professional relationships as well. Let's get started. First, very quickly, we'll just give a few things, a few expressions that you can use when you're talking about someone that you love, someone that you love. You can call this person your special someone, your special someone. And you'll often hear people on the radio or TV shows or friends when they're meeting each other and say, "Have you met that special someone yet? Have you met that special someone yet?" So have you met someone that you really love, a great partner for you, that kind of thing, like a boyfriend or girlfriend, something like that. Or people that are, they're kind of sad, especially in movies, and they're saying, well, I haven't met that special someone yet. I haven't met that special someone yet. So if that's the case, we're just talking about a person that you care about. Special someone. That special someone. You can also talk about someone being a soulmate. Soulmate. A soulmate is, again, it's the same kind of thing. Some people believe we are put on this planet and there are billions of people, but there is that one special someone, that soulmate for you. So that one person that connects with your soul and you have a very great relationship with them. A soulmate. A soulmate. And in addition to that special someone or soulmate, you can also talk about finding the one for you or the right person. So that special someone or that right person. It's again, we're just talking about, I want to find someone that loves me and that I love that person. But when we talk about it, it's kind of more like a poetic way. We're trying to sound a bit more elegant and natural and a little bit more, maybe romantic about it. So we talk about soulmates, that right someone, that special someone, that right person for me. Oh, I just haven't found that right person for me. Oh no, can you help me? That right person for me. Soulmate, that special someone. And a really great phrase when you're talking about being away from someone and you miss them, this is a really great expression. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. Now this is a full expression, and when we use it as a full expression, we don't shorten this in a conversation. We can just say, absence makes the heart grow fonder. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. Now, let's break this down into pieces. So absence, it just means where you're not with someone. To be absent is to be not there. So absence is like the noun form of this. So absence makes the heart, my heart, grow fonder. Now, fond is a more kind of elegant or elevated or advanced way of saying that you like someone. So maybe many, many years ago, you wouldn't just say, oh, I like that girl over there. You would say, I'm very fond of her. It's usually not an expression or a word that you would hear so much, but in this expression, everyone understands it. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. So what that means is that if I'm away from my girlfriend or my wife or whoever, or you are away from, whoever your special someone is, absence makes the heart grow fonder. It means you miss them more and more as you're away from them, either physically away from them, over a long distance, or it's been a long time since you've seen them. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. All right, now we're going to get into some of the juicier, more interesting stuff because, as you probably know already, most of the time, if you're having a good time in your relationship, if everything is going along well, it's not that interesting to talk about. Oh, how is your wife and how is the relationship? Everything is perfect. Everything is going just fine. Well, that's the end of that conversation. But the thing that people really talk about, they want to gossip about, they want to know about drama and trouble, and this is what every movie is about. There's always a problem. And so that's why most of this video lesson will be talking about problems and how to deal with them, and kind of specifically how we talk about that for love and relationships, but also for other relationships in general. So let's get started. First, we typically talk about men and women being different, and there are lots of different ways to describe this. You can say we are wired differently. So again, we have like different wiring, like our brains are actually a little bit different. Now, I don't mean like the size or anything, just kind of how we think, the things that we think about. And there's a lot of equality in the world, like men and women doing the same jobs or making the same amount of money. But sometimes we talk about things differently or think about them in different ways. So we've got oftentimes problems that come up when men are thinking about things in one way and women are thinking about them in another, or whatever it is in your relationship. And we talk about men and women specifically having a battle of the sexes. This is a battle, like a fight, like a war, a battle. But again, we have the T turning into a D sound, so a battle. The battle of the sexes. Now, there was a really, really popular book that came out, I think maybe 20 years ago, I believe. It's still quite popular, though. It's called Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus. And this is, again, another way of describing the same thing where men and women are different. So men are from Mars and women are from Venus. Now, we can talk about this, anytime there's a problem in a relationship, or, like you're sitting down and a friend of yours is complaining about their relationship, or there's a problem or something, you can just say, well, men are from Mars, women are from Venus. And that just means that, there's going to be problems in a relationship, and that means you just have to work a little bit to try to make everything go a little bit more smoothly in the relationship. So the battle of the sexes, and men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Now, another great expression that you'll often hear in movies and TV shows, especially as well as conversations, is you can't live with them, you can't live without them. Now, this is a really great expression where it's got almost two meanings. To live with someone means to physically be living with someone, and then you've got to live without them. So let's say I love my wife, but sometimes I just hate what she does. Or this is, you'll see in movies where, one character, he really loves his girlfriend or something, but sometimes she does things that, they're just crazy, and he just doesn't know what to do about that. So when people, they sit and they think about women or men, and they're just like why is it so frustrating? Like, I love them, but sometimes I really hate them at the same time. So we say you can't live with them, to live with someone, again, to live together, to cohabitate, or you can't live without them. So it can mean physically, like living, with a woman, or it could mean just having women or men in your life. So often when people are having problems, or they're talking with their friends about problems that they're having, they'll use that expression. Men, you can't live with them, you can't live without them. And notice how I'm saying you can't live without because we don't say them. It just sounds a little bit too formal. So if you want to be, a bit more informal, you want to be more casual and conversational, you can say you can't live with them, you can't live without them. You can't live with them, you can't live without them. Now, let's talk more specifically about what happens when there's a problem in a relationship. And this can mean any kind of relationship, but most of the words that you'll hear are used specifically for romantic relationships, like a husband and wife, or a boyfriend, girlfriend, that kind of thing. So the first one is, instead of just saying, like you're having problems, you could describe you're having trouble in paradise. Trouble in paradise. So let's say I am a father and I have a son that's maybe 16 years old, and he's got a girlfriend for the first time, and everything is going great, and then they have their first problem. So he is telling me a story. Oh, Dad, I saw the girl maybe hanging out with some other guy at a party or something like that, and I'm just saying, trouble in paradise. trouble in paradise. So paradise is like heaven. It's like, fantastic thing. And so everybody thinks when they're in love, it's like paradise. It's like heaven because, you feel great all the time. But when there's a problem, there's trouble in paradise. Oh no, trouble in paradise. Trouble in paradise. And when you have trouble in paradise, you tend to butt heads with someone, to butt heads. Now, if you've ever seen a goat before, these are like the little animals at the farm. They've got the horns that come up, and the men, or not the men, I guess, but the male goats. You could call these like billy goats, or you could just call it like a ram. That's usually the name for a male goat. But anyway, so they've got the horns, and they kind of fight with each other. They butt heads like that. Now, this is an expression you can use to butt heads with someone. Again, to butt heads. Notice how I'm not saying butt heads. I'm saying butt heads. Butt heads. The T sound basically disappears. Now, when you butt heads with someone, this could be at an office, like one person thinks one way and someone else thinks a different way. You're butting heads. Or this could be butting heads in a relationship where I think we should do something one way, or I want to sleep with the air conditioner on and my wife wants to sleep with the air conditioner off, or something like that. So you're butting heads about that. Next, another great expression for fighting is to duke it out. You can fight with someone, or you can duke it out. To duke it out. Now listen carefully to how it blends. Duke it out. Duke it out. Duke it out. To duke it out with someone. Duke it out with someone. Now you're duking it out. It's like you put up your dukes, your fists. So it's like a very physical fist fight with someone. And again, this can be used in any situation. It could be a friend, or it could be like a romantic relationship, a married partner or something like that, somebody at your office, and you're, instead of just butting heads, you're also duking it out. So you're really having a fight, and it could be maybe not an actual physical fight, but you're really heated. It's a very like a tempestuous situation, like a tempest. It's very wild, if you remember from the phrase builder lesson, tempestuous. And so it's really wild and exciting, and everybody's like really, really serious and angry about that. So when you're butting heads and then you're duking it out, duke it out. I don't want to duke it out with you. I just want to talk things over. I don't want to duke it out with you. I just want to talk things over. Next, to describe someone, this could be in a relationship or any relationship really, as someone who gets angry easily, this is a person called a hothead. A hothead. Hothead. My father's a real hothead. He gets crazy if I go into his room when he's busy watching a sports game, something like that. So while he's watching football, I don't go in and bother my father because he's a hothead like that. He gets angry really quickly, a hothead. My dad's actually a really nice guy, but, for the purposes of the example, a hothead. Also, I love my wife. I know I'm giving a lot of kind of weird examples over here, but, really, if I'm going to be honest about this, though, she does like it quite warm in the room while she sleeps, and I like it really cold. So, maybe that's something we butt heads about a little bit. Next, when you're having trouble communicating with someone, or you really don't know what to say, or you don't want to speak with them at all because you're angry with them, we call this situation putting up walls. So let's say I'm having a dispute with you, a fight, an argument, and I don't want to talk to this guy anymore. I'm really, really angry with him. It's really, really frustrating, so I don't want to talk with him, and I put up a wall. So I'm putting up walls. I'm like literally building a wall between us like this, to put up walls. So putting up walls just means you're stopping communication somehow. Either you don't want to do it, you don't want to listen, or really you're just tired of listening to them because you really can't come together on something. You can't compromise and work out the problem, whatever that is. To put up walls. Put up walls. Put up walls. Put up walls. And for the last few things for this video lesson, I want to talk about making up. Making up. So to make up with someone, this is after you've had a fight, and when you're talking with people, okay, we've had our cool down period, so things get like hot and heated, and then you have to take a step back to take a step back and look back, maybe the problem wasn't such a big deal, or maybe I said something stupid, so you're taking a step back and cooling down. So these are all phrases and expressions that talk about that. The first one, when you're apologizing with people, as you'll see in the conversation, is it takes two to tango. And this means anytime that two people are required to do something, and then it's usually both of their faults. Both people are responsible if there's a problem. So it takes two people to have a good relationship. It takes two people to have a good marriage or a good business relationship or anything like that. So it takes two to tango, and this is the regular tango dance, because I can't dance the tango by myself. You need two people to do it, but this is just the dance that people use. We don't say it takes two people to waltz, or it takes two people to do, some other dance. Two to tango is just a very common expression, and that's the dancing term that we use for that. So anytime you want to resolve a problem, just remember, maybe you did something, but maybe I did something too, and maybe it's kind of both of our faults. It takes two to tango. It takes two to tango. Now listen carefully to how this blends. It takes two to tango. It takes two to tango. Again, that T becomes the D sound. Do you hear the pattern? Two to tango, two to tango. Next, make it work. Make it work. To make it work, and it is the relationship, means to work together to repair a relationship or to keep it going smoothly. Now, a relationship does require a lot of work. It could be a friendship that you have with people. I know I've kind of lost some friendships that I've had with people as I go out and travel around and live in different countries. And some of my friends that are back in America, I don't really get to speak with them so often. Or we've kind of lost contact. We've lost touch. We've lost touch. Lost touch. So, it takes a little bit of effort to make it work. Make it work. To make it work. So whenever you have a relationship with people, you always need to keep making the effort, especially if it's someone that you have a very close relationship with, like your wife or your husband or boyfriend or girlfriend or whoever. So work hard to make it work, to make the relationship go smoothly. Make it work. Next, mind reader. A mind reader. And you'll see this again in the conversation along with all the other phrases that you're learning in these lessons. But mind reader specifically is something that you can use when, just like we talked about in the phrase builder lesson, use words or use your words. We want people to actually express themselves because we're not mind readers. So I don't know how to read your mind. I can kind of guess how you're thinking. Like if you look angry, I can see that or I can understand that, but maybe I don't know why. So I'm not a mind reader. And often you'll hear this in movies and TV shows when, the husband and wife are arguing and the wife will, be like this and kind of angry and the husband's like, what? I'm not a mind reader. I'm not a mind reader, and it just means please tell me what you're thinking because I don't know exactly what the problem is. I'm not a mind reader. I'm not a mind reader. And our last phrase is don't go to bed angry. Don't go to bed angry. One of the best ways to make sure that you have a good night's sleep, especially if you've had a fight, is, you take some time, you try to think about it and talk it over. Talk it over with the person you're with, your wife or your husband or whoever. And then, you want to make sure you resolve the problem pretty well, at least, and maybe it's not perfect, but at least you don't go to bed angry. So a lot of people will give this advice to each other, especially people that are living together for the first time, because it's really difficult to go to bed angry when, you've just had an argument and then you don't sleep well and then kind of you wake up in the next morning and you're kind of angry still because you didn't sleep well and the problem has not been resolved. So do your best to try to resolve the problem, whatever that is, so that you don't go to bed angry. Don't go to bed angry. So some people will say don't go to bed angry or never go to bed angry. Don't go to bed angry. Never go to bed angry. Well, that's it for this month. I hope you have enjoyed all of these phrases. Go back and review them. Use them in your conversations as often as you can. Remember, most of these are just talking about personal relationships. So if you're a hothead, or if you like to butt heads with people or duke it out, or you want to work it out or make it work, all of these things, they're great for any kind of relationship. It's just that when we're talking about these kind of couples relationships, that's when people get very emotional and really passionate about these things, and we use a lot of these phrases more in those contexts. Well, that's it for this lesson, and I hope you've enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you again when we use all of these in the masterclass lesson coming up soon. Have a great day, and I'll see you in that lesson. Bye-bye.